Hey friends, Rabbi Jenny Solomon here in Raleigh, North Carolina at Beth Myers Synagogue, here with a mincha moment, hopefully a moment of pause, of learning and inspiration for our ongoing spiritual practice. So this week, the Torah portion is Chaye Sarah, which literally means the life or the lives of Sarah, our mother. But of course, those of you who are well-versed in Torah know that this week's Torah portion actually opens up with Sarah's death and the subsequent, her burial, among other things that are in this week's Torah portion. But one of the things that's so interesting is in this opening verse of our parsha, it talks about Sarah's age, the age that she died, 127. But it doesn't say 127 in the normal way. Years, 20 several times. This is not typical for how someone's age or how many years they lived is expressed in the Torah. And Rashi, the medieval commentator, offers a couple different possibilities for why this might be. But his second interpretation I find particularly compelling. He says that the word shanim, years, is repeated in these increments of 120 and 7 to suggest that all of her years were shavin letova, were equal in goodness. Now this might be a little bit surprising because even those of us with less familiarity with Sarah's life and the Torah text, what we learn about her life, know that she had an incredibly tumultuous life. She left her homeland. She was barren. She was, her husband tried to sort of disguise her as not his wife. I mean, there are all kinds of things that happen in Sarah's life that indicate hardship and disappointment and struggle. And so to suggest that sort of all of her years were equal in goodness is somewhat surprising. Here's what I want to suggest. I am very wary of what we now call in sort of modern lingo, toxic positivity. It's like the people that wear shirts that say like good vibes only. I'm not here for it. I mean, yes, a lot of times we do. It's wonderful when we can exude positivity and joy and goodness. But we are whole humans that have every possible feeling and inevitably experience anger and aggravation and sadness and sorrow and disappointment and everything in between. So I'm here for all the vibes, all vibes welcome. So I'm very wary of a sort of toxic positivity, like we just have to think positively and good things will happen. I don't believe that. But here's what I do want to affirm, and that is that our spiritual practice, whether we are in prayer or meditation or doing mitzvot or just moving through our lives mindfully, that we always have the opportunity to affirm an essential goodness of the bigger picture, of the larger world, of the wholeness of our hearts, even as we encounter the truth of our experience. So the goal for myself is like, I want to be able to look back when I am when I'm approaching my last years or days even, and be able to look back on any period of my life, any chapter, which of course necessarily had inevitable difficulties and challenges and sadness and loss and heartbreak, and still be able to look back and say those were good years. Those were good years. Those were good times. Not that they were all happy or that they were all easy or that they were all pleasurable or joyous. But when I look back on that time, even that time that encompassed something very difficult, I look back with a kind of quality of goodness. I'm able to hold with the truth of that difficulty the ways in which I was carried, the ways I found grace, the gift that came with growing in wisdom, in building and evolving my soul and my consciousness and my awareness that especially come through difficult experiences. And so in that sense, blessings emerged, and it was good. It was good. So I want to wish everyone, just continued insistence on being unafraid to look at the truth of our experience in all of its fullness. And then all the while hold the truth within a larger frame of the goodness of what it is to be alive, to be living these one precious lives that each one of us are gifted. All right, shalom, peace, everyone.